The National Transport Museum was set up in Howth around 1985, and we were given a 33-year lease, of which there's about 5 or 6 years remaining. Recently the castle was sold, and the incoming owners, Tetrarch, have requested us to vacate some of the buildings we used for storage. Because of this, we badly need to find homes for Howth-related material. We contacted Lara O'Brien and Philip O'Connor, who I knew from our work at the Era 6 restoration project. They searched for us to find a place to put the Howth-related material and were in contact with Sean Dora. Sean has possession of the ice plant, and he is hoping to set up a museum here, and our function is to help him in any way we can. When a vehicle arrives to us, such as this mailboat luggage carrier, we dismantle it, examine it carefully, see what needs to be repaired, and go about doing the job. This particular vehicle would have served across the sea in Dún Laoghaire, but identical vehicles would have met the mailboats when they arrived in Howth from 1817 to the early 30s. They would have picked up the luggage, brought them to waiting carriages on Telford's Road leading into the city centre. When the steam trains arrived in Dún Laoghaire, the mailboat changed allegiance and set up the mailboat station there. And these vehicles survived in Howth for a while and were used to transport fish and other items and other produce, but have now long vanished. They were made in England by a reputable company who turned them out by the thousands. We can tell roughly the age of this to be 1870 to 1890 because of the solid tyres. It might be older if they had iron tyres. Nowadays, of course, they'll have pneumatic tyres. We have now restored the bodywork. That's John Wheatley, he did the mechanical work. And here we are welding together the parts to strengthen it before putting the timbers back in. The other person to help John in the early days was Bill Gardiuk, and here we see Maurice Hayden with Carl Cody-Keogh to the left and John putting on the planks. That bus has just been restored and is in the background. This is it roughly assembled. That's now fully completed and painted. It's not the final colour. Another vehicle that would have served in Howth was known as the Dublin tipping cart. The large wheel carried in the body would have been located to the front, but it is more manoeuvrable in the museum situation by putting the wheel in its own carriage. It would have carried gravel, smaller stone, and tilted them into the harbour on top of the larger stone. The lifeboat winch was located at the end of Abbey Street and would haul the lifeboat out of the sea along a ramp which has long since vanished with the park. This particular item could stay outside, be cleaned up and painted. It will survive. When the mailboat arrived in Howth, George IV arrived, and when he stepped out, somebody obliged by carving the position of his 2 feet where he landed in Ireland. This sign was then placed in 1821 to show where he had landed. We've also presented military items. We've a lot of military vehicles on display. These are headlamp covers which were used during the Second World War to make the light very dim. We've also presented a Lee Enfield rifle storage box and some ammunition boxes and other artifacts. The oldest and perhaps the most valuable vehicles of all are the rock carriers, which brought the large stones down from Kilrock quarries for the construction of the harbour. One of them, as you can see, is in very poor condition and has broken in the centre. That is the original one. A second one was made, more simply constructed, and all the information we need to put back the first is there. It was the plan of the restoration team to take on this project after completion of the Giant's Causeway Tram number 9, which is nearing completion but still a year or so to finish. Unfortunately, we have to vacate the building. We've no place to put these vehicles. And that's where Lara and Philip and Sean have come to help our society take these very valuable and historic vehicles in and put them on the cover. It is possible that myself and Carl and others will go down and continue the restoration work there. The main thing is to get them on the cover. I met Sean. Sean is very interested in recording the old fishermen, many of whom have passed, and has recorded their stories, and this museum is of great interest to him. And without Sean, none of this would be possible. This is the better of the two rock carriers. All the information we need is there. I know that the photographing here may seem repetitive, but every time we view it from different angles, we see different items. So when things are dismantled, we know with certainty how to put it back. The worst thing you can do is dismantle and say, where does this go, or end up with some component in your hand, not knowing where to put it. It had a system of levers, and if you notice the ends of some of the bars are rounded, they would sit on greased bars to allow for ease of movement. A very unusual vehicle and very valuable historically, very much part of Howth's heritage. And I look forward someday to seeing these restored. As they stand, they are still worthy of display, even in their dilapidated condition. You can see how strongly built they were, as their task in carrying heavy rocks was not an easy one. Here we are pushing the weaker of the two rock carriers in a position, there it is, ready for Sean to collect. Because the museum is in Howth, artefacts related to the Hill of Howth tram, such as this car to follow, is also presented to the society. We have given 6 blinds. And these notices, the red ones, were over the head of the driver on the platform, and smokers are requested to sit behind the trolley pole, which was very advanced for its day. Now, these were covers for the gear wheels. They will now function by being turned upside down to provide bases for seats. Another item presented to the new society is one of the gate posts. I got a call from Fingal to say that it had been uprooted at Balkill Road, where the tram used to cross. That particular item was slung under the belly of the Hill of Howth tram to carry resistors, and Sean's vision for them is to form seats. On the back of the trunk carrier we have placed some other items, the sort of thing which would have been on it, and shows its use. In restoring the sides of the upper deck of number 9, I made these large lathers. They're no use to us. Also, this milk book of Howth the Main Dairies was found and has been presented to the new society. I rescued donkeys, and this little donkey I got from Roscommon, and with him came a cart with all his hames and bridles and straddles and everything else. This is the cart which was used in the film. That's now a gift on permanent loan to the new society. We often forget the part that donkeys and ponies played in our transport. This is a quieter time, not much traffic on the road, but it shows little donkeys going about their business very willingly, bringing milk to market. This man has a fine moustache, somebody of importance. That's a straddle over the back of the donkey. They arrive at the village and this little donkey knows it's time to go. The milk has been unloaded and off he goes back. I dare say he could make his own way back, and little donkeys carry the milk without carts. It's a tribute to these wonderful animals who served us, and now in many ways we serve them. We wish the Howth Living Heritage Trust every success, and we will do our best to help. Our chairman is John Kelleher. Our secretary is John Curran. The work team at present is John Kelleher, John Wheatley, Bill Garrick, Morris, Hayden, Carol, Cody, Kyo, our newest member, and of course myself. That's it.